Hello, uh, welcome to our next session. So we have already started with the DOM, right? So in our class we have discussed some fundamental things about the HTML DOM in our JavaScript. Now how we are going to process this particular DOM element by using our JavaScript. So DOM is a document object model. So we have seen a HTML DOM tree in our last class. So everything in a particular web page, so we will be having a document. So whatever the tags or the elements, whatever you are going to put in your HTML file, so everything will be under our document. So when you look into a tree, or if you want to construct a document object model tree, so under document, so we are going to start with our HTML tag. The HTML tag will be the root tag. Now under root, so we have got the head and the body. So the element head and body, as we know that it's generally we have got two classes here. So one is our head, the other one is the body. So these are the two subsections what you can see when we are discussing or when we are writing our HTML. Now under head tag, so we can say that the head and the body are the child of our root node, that is HTML. Now HTML which is wrapped inside our document. So whenever a HTML page is been loaded, so everything, like say for example when you take our head section or head element, now under head, so we have got tag, we have got meta tag, etc. So we have many other tags. Similarly under body, now you might be inserting various elements, like whether it is an head one or div or a span or a navigation or an anchor tag, and for every tag we have got certain attributes, certain values. So these attributes can be identified with an ID, can associate with an ID or a class. So this is how we try to draw a particular what you call a tree like structure, which we call a document object model. So with the help of this document, so using our JavaScript, now we can try to do the manipulations on that. That means we can try to access the individual elements, so we can try to change the attributes with the help of our JavaScript. So when you look into how we are going to target the elements or the objects in our Java by using JavaScript, how do you target our DOM object? So basically we have many methods are available for us. The general or commonly used methods are these three. As you can see, we already discussed in the class. The first one is the ID. So we can use document.getElement by ID, and you can specify any particular ID which you want to target. So similarly, if you want to target a class name, get elements by class name. So you will be having more than one elements can be associated with the same class, so we will be having elements by class name or the tag name. Individual tag name also we can try to target. Now apart from these things or these methods, now we have got so many other methods are also available. Like say we have got document.all. So when you say document, the complete the structure, the structure of our HTML, complete structure, it comes into our particular page. So similarly we have got document element. So document head, bare head beku, head section ashte beku namige andaga, so we say just say document dot head or a title or a body. So like this, even including your URL. Now these are all the various other methods through which we can try to target some of our document, some of the objects in our DOM. So now as we told that, so the three main important thing what we can do in by using this DOM model is, the first one is that how to access any element, how to target a particular element. So we have so many elements in our HTML. Now how we are going to target, that is the first usage. The second important thing is how to modify the properties and attributes. We can modify the properties of any particular, first you have to target a particular element. Once you target that particular elements, we can try to modify some of the properties, or we can try to the attributes. There are certain attributes are also associated with each dog. Now these things can be modified. Similarly, third important thing work which we can do is that we can add a new HTML object. Right, so already see, when you want to add an HTML object, usually in our HTML file we try to do it. Once we go to the demo, it will be more clear for us. So when we are how we are going to do all these three tasks. So we can using our JavaScript, now you can add a new HTML or you can delete a new HTML also. These are all the things which you can perform by using our JavaScript. Now first we will try to look into how we are going to target the elements. So how we try to target, as we discussed that we have so many methods are there. So first one is by targeting by an ID, that is the document.getElement by ID, targeting by a tag name, by a class name, or also we can say generally we use the query selector. We can even write the query selector. Now let us try to see how we can try to target all those things. So now we say that, so we are opening our the code editor. So we have included our boiler tag code, correct? So initially we have included our boiler tag code. So now we'll try to create some divs, right? Give some decoration to the divs by using our CSS. So we have created an empty CSS file. Now this is our JavaScript file.js, where we try to access all the DOM objects by in our JavaScript. How clear? So now our HTML. So first we'll try to, as you know that since we have got an CSS file, so we will link our CSS file. So style.css. So we link to that particular CSS file. Now in our body, now we'll try to create some div. So first we'll try to create a container. So we'll say dot container. Inside our container, now we will create a div with the name of this div or ID. We will give it as box hyphen. So let us create some 3 to 4 divs. We will try to create dollar open flower bracket, again box hyphen dollar close the bracket. So now we are going to create a container, a div called as a container with a that is ID. Since we have put here dot here, so this is the class. So we are going to have a div, the class name is the container, then inside that now we are going to create a box, right? So this is a shortcut through which we are going to use the emit and trying to use the shortcut. So we will try to say that we will create a 4 divs for this. Now you can see that what we have done basically, now we have created a div, class is the container. Now we have created another 4 divs. This is inside the class we are wrapping another 4 divs. Now for all this, the class name is the box we are given and ID we have given. So box 1, box 2, box 3 and box 4. So already we discussed in our CSS that usually IDs will be unique. So we don't try to give the same IDs, but class we can have the same class. Now we have just created. So in body we will just put an heading also h1. So let us say this is DOM manipulation. So we are going to work with the DOM manipulations. So now we have created. So let us save this and try to execute. Now you can see that we got the DOM manipulation and we have created 4 divs, box 1, box 2, box 3 and box 4. Now we will go to our CSS. Now we will try to do certain, because since we have created all these are 4 divs, we are not given any border or any style. So we will try to give some style. So we will first go to the class container. So now we try to, let us say, we will say background color of this container. So we'll give one color for this. Okay, so we'll select a background color, then display. Now we'll make, initially we'll say display, will PLAY. So display property, we'll set it to flex. We'll just use some of our flex wrap. Justify the content inside that, we'll say justify the content, we'll make it as space between. Okay, anyone you can try to use it. Then text alignment, will align the hyphen text. So text alignment, where is it? Okay, So width will specify width for individual box, let us say around 400 pixels. We'll give the width for that, and we'll give some padding also. So padding, let us say 10 pixel. So for our container, now we are given some style. Now if you just save it, now you can see now we got box, 4 box we have done, because we have said display as flex, so we are getting in the same particular line. So now border is not there, so let us try to put some border also. So now for each box we'll try to put the border. So we have got a class called as box, so we'll go into this particular class. So we'll specify the width of this, let us say each box is of 100 pixels. Height also will specify it to 100 pixel. Then a display of this, we'll make it this also flex, and border, we'll try to give some border, let us say 2 pixel border, solid black. So now we have got 4 boxes, right? Now even we try to shrink it, flex, justify content, center, line items also will make it as center. So if you zoom it, now you can see that now this is what we have created, 4 box. Now we will increase the container width, so that will make it as 500 pixels, so that all the 4 boxes are in one particular line, right? So now you have 4 boxes, and we have done bit styling to this particular thing, so by using our CSS. Now we will try to access the elements. So now we have seen here now how we are going to target these elements. So we have 4, basically generally we are going to use the 4 important things. The first one is how we are going to target by ID, right? So 4 methods, so one by one we will try to see. So first we will go to our JavaScript. Now by using JavaScript, as we told, now we want to target our objects. So we will say let us say we'll declare a variable const my body. We'll target the body here. First we'll take one variable, so we'll say document dot body. So when I say that document dot body, now you got access to this particular body. It is variable, in this variable my body. Now let us log this console.doc, so my body, and when you save this, now go to your file. Now if you go to the console, now let me expand this. So now you go to your console. Now you can see here in console we got our entire body tag, right? So if you say here, so it is giving error. The reason is that I think JavaScript file we have not linked. So we will go to the end of our JavaScript is been linked. So we will link the JavaScript also. So still we are getting some error. Let me check what is that error. So we are going to include here the, before you terminate your body, give the link to your JavaScript file. So script.js, so we can see that when you are working with JavaScript, basically now you have to include that particular JavaScript file in our HTML. So the normal trend is that you go to the last line of your body where you are going to close your body. So now here, so you are going to put your script. So what is that script? Now, so we can say that the for your script source, so give the file name. So what is that? So the source is script.js. I just save it. So now you can see here, so in our JavaScript we have tried to target our body. So you can see in our console, so we got your body. So when you hover your particular mouse here, you can see the complete our body is been selected. So this is what we have tried to target. So we are going to target our body. So when you expand it, you can see that the entire body, what all things are present in our HTML body, you can try to see with this particular thing. So now let us see that even we can try to change the body style also. We can try to change. Let us like say for example, now already we have accessed this particular body. So we'll just we'll comment this section. So already this variable my body you have. So we'll take this my body dot style. We'll go to style property. Now we can try to change the background color of this. So we'll go with the background color. Now you have to observe that, so we are going to use the camel case here. If you are working with our CSS, in generally CSS how do we do? So we are going to say background hyphen color. So this is what the CSS style. But in JavaScript, so we are going to use the camel case, remove that hyphen and make this color as capital letters. So now the body background color. So we are trying to change the background color of our entire body with our JavaScript by targeting the DOM model. So we are trying to target your document, get its property in a variable, and you are going to change the style. Now let us say that the background color we will assign it to say some red. I can see here automatically the entire body of our HTML, the color has been changed. So with the help of this particular variable my body, so you have access the entire thing and you are going to change. So usually we don't we were talking about how we are going to access the individual element, right? So now let us comment this particular line. Now we'll try to look into one by one the four important things. The first thing is that, so we want to access these boxes. Let us say we want to access our to target our box 1. So define a variable constant, let us say boxes is equal to document dot get element by ID. So we have got the get element by ID. Now if you look here into our HTML page, for all these four boxes we have given box 1, box 2, box 3 and box 4. 4 IDs are being given. Let us say that we want to target box 1. This is the first box. So we will say in the ID, so now we are going to use the ID name box hyphen 1. So now we have targeted this. So we have tried this. Now if you just log this, so console.1, so just to save it. Now you can see here in the output, now you can see div. So when you move your cursor here, only the box 1 is been highlighted. So that means you are able to look into this div box 1, right? So suppose say that you want to target the second box, just give the ID of this. Now you can see div ID is equal to box 2. When you move the cursor here, so it is targeting the second box, right? So entire thing we are able to target it by using our ID. So the next one is by tag name. So you can even target by using a particular tag name. Say let us say that we will add one paragraph into our after div, right, in our container or outside this. So we will try to add one paragraph, welcome to. Now you got this particular paragraph, welcome to. Now this is a tag, right? Now we will try to target our So this is targeting by tag name. So how do you target? So define a variable. Let us say that tags is equal to document dot get element by tag name. Now what is your tag name? So tag name is paragraph. So now you targeted this. So if you log this, log, you can see we will just comment all these, the previous one. So now we are just targeting with our tags. So now we have tried to target this particular tag. Now when you can see, it gives us the collection. So it is here trying to give us a collection. So this is the tag P. You can see as soon as you move your mouse here, so that entire paragraph is been selected. So that is welcome to. So you have tried. So it is telling that you have only one paragraph you have obtained here. So if you want to target it with respect to div, suppose say that if you just give here div, so now what is going to happen? You just check. So now it is giving me an HTML collection, because in our HTML page there are one inside 4 div, so total 5 div you have used. So it gives us an HTML collection which is just like an array. So where the 0th element is our div container, you can see here on the right hand screen. So the first element, since it is an array, it starts with the index 0. The first one is our div 1, that is ID is box 1. The second one is box 2, box 3, box 4 and box 5. Totally 5. The length is 5. So length is 5 means, so since it is starting from 0, so it is going to say 0, 4 divs inside, that is for a box we have used, plus 1 div for our container. So length is 5. So totally how many divs are there? Complete thing we are going to get. So this is how we can try to target by using a tag name also. This is the second way what we have done, right? This is the second method. Now the third one is, so we will try to see how we are going to target the objects using class name, because we know that we also have the class name also. So let us say that we want to target the class box, right, or say class container. Now if you want to target the class box, so constant, so we'll say variable boxes document dot get element by class name. So which is our class name? The class name is hyphen box. So I think, see here you can get an error, because already here we have taken a variable and declared it as constant. We will comment this. So now we will log it, console.log boxes. So now again it is trying to give an HTML collection which contains all the boxes. So box 1, 2, 3. So how many boxes are there? Because so when you are talking about the class name here, class name box, so in our HTML we can see there are 4 divs are there for which the class name is box. So it tries to give everything as a HTML collection. So you can see length is equal to 4. That means there are 4. So if you are going to have some different class, now let us say that we try to have another particular class, we'll give it as random. Now if you want to target this particular class random, so let us go to this, and instead of box we'll use random. So now, so it is length is 0. So we are unable to, because here is what is happening is that now you are supposed to use the query selector here, because inside our class now we have made another class that is random. So we have tried to give another class to this particular random. Now at that particular thing, now you are supposed to use the fourth one, that is called as a query selector. So just like in our CSS, how we are going to define a query, like say container dot box, like this, how we are going to write the queries in CSS. In the similarly we can write the queries in our JavaScript also. So we'll try to see how we are going to target the DOM models by using the query selectors. So let us say we'll declare a constant random or variable. So we'll say document dot query selector. Now query selector dot container dot random. Now what it gives us is that inside this container random, so we'll just say log dot console so right now the we'll try to add this container here first. So this is how you are writing a query selector. Now if you look here our HTML, so we had a class called as container. Inside the container we initially declared 4 classes box. For all these 4 div box we are given class name. Now for the first box with an ID box1, we have added another class called for this as a random. Now once we use a query selector, so you are going to start in, this is the parent our container, so you are going to say document dot query selector container dot random. That means it will give you, you can see here it is going to display the div1, that is box1, and class box random inside our container. So the first time when it starts searching, so wherever the class random, the first random you are going to get, that it is going to target. Okay, so inside our class container. So if you have got any random classes outside this container, so it is not going to target. So it will target only that particular class random which is present in our container class only. Similarly, we have got another method called as query selector op, so which tries to target every classes which are present, all the queries which you have defined in your particular class. So this is the first phase. We have seen all the 4 methods, that is by targeting by using the ID. That means you can target by using the ID or the tag name, whether it is a paragraph, whether it is image tag, anchor tag, etc. You can target by the class name. You can also target by the query selector. So the first thing is you have just seen how we can target all the DOM objects in our using the JavaScript. The next is the very important thing, modifying. So it's why we are going to target all this thing is that when you have got a very huge HTML pages and when you are writing the JavaScript, so now you target each one, later on we try to modify, right? You can try to modify, like say all the properties. So what all the properties are there, what all the attributes are there, we can try to modify by using JavaScript. You need not go into our HTML. So here when you are going to modify, so there are some 3 important things which we try to do. The first one is you can change the HTML content. So if you want to change any content of your HTML, then you can use the inner HTML. So you can use the method inner HTML in order to change the content. So if you want to change any attribute, values of an attribute, then you can use document.get element by ID. That is first target that particular ID, then dot whatever attributes are there, you can change the attributes of that particular thing. Like say here we are targeting a particular image and we are changing the complete source of that image itself. Or you can target a particular paragraph or any other tag, change its style by using style property. So changing the attributes, you can modify the classes also. You can modify the classes. You can add a new class, you can remove a particular class, and you can try to toggle a particular class also. These are all the things what you can try to do with our modifying the HTML. So let us go and try to check with all these things. So let me make all this comment all what you have done here. So let us reload our page freshly once again. Clear? So now this is what we have done. So first thing is that, so we will try to now go with changing or modifying our HTML. So let us say that we will target our box 1 and try to do certain modification on this box 1. So we'll declare a variable box 1 equal to, first we'll target it. How do you target? Document dot get element by id, right? So what is our id? id is box 1. Get element by id box -1. This is the id what we have given. So now we got the access to this particular box 1. So now we will go to our variable what you have declared box 1 dot inner HTML. So you have got a method called as inner HTML. Now this gives us the content of our HTML. So now you can see here what is the HTML content. When you look here, we are given it as a box 1 for our first div. Suppose say that we will change it with one particular string. Let us say that we are going to say box 1 dot inner HTML hello. You can see now automatically the div 1 is replaced with hello. Okay. Now even if you inspect, if you go to the coding also in our HTML, so right, so the automatically now you can see here you can the div 1 or sorry the box 1 has been changed. Not only this particular what you can say a string, even you can add the complete HTML itself. So you can completely use our HTML tag when you are working with inner HTML or when you are trying to modify any HTML content. Now say for example, instead of just hello, we will add a header h1 tag here, h1, type hello and close this h1. You can see it became bold with our header 1. So this is how we are going to use our inner HTML in order to modifying. So similarly we can change the attribute also. Now say for example already we have access, we have targeted our box 1. So I will use this variable box 1. We will go to the style property and we will change the background color. So background color of this particular property, we'll change it to red. So now only this particular box 1 we have changed. So we have changed the background of this particular box 1 by using style property, that is the attribute. So the attribute we have changed. So again it depends whether to what you are applying. Suppose if you are targeting the second box and if you try to do the changes, so it can be applied to your second box also. So like this you can try to change the attribute, not only the inner HTML, you can change the values also into our HTML. The third thing is that now how we are going to deal with the classes, how we are going to modify the classes. That means you are going to add a new classes. Now let us say that we'll try to work with that. We'll go to our style. Now we'll add a new class. So we had right now only container class and a box class. Now let us add a new class called as round border. So we'll set the border radius to 50%, so that it, you know that how we are going to use this property, border radius 50%, and we'll put a, of course already border is there, just we'll make this radius. So now we have a new class here, round border. Now we will put this class to our HTML. So we'll go to our HTML page. So now here we had taken one particular class, right? Previously we have made this as round. Now instead of round we will go with the round border. So we'll change the class as the we'll copy this class name. So now once you add this new class, so this the round border was a new class which we have created here in our CSS file, and we have added this to this particular class. Now as soon as you do this, so now you can see that this particular div1, which was the box was square, now it has become round. Now these things we have done in our HTML, right? This is we have done in our HTML. Now we don't want to do it with our HTML. We'll just save it. I'll go back to the previously about we had. Now we want to add a new class with our JavaScript. That means by targeting those values. Now let us see now how we are going to add it. So already we have accessed our box1 properties here. So we'll go to box1. Now we have got something called as class list here. Now this class list is going to give me all the list of all the classes which are present in that particular container. So with this particular class list, in our class list, now we are going to add a new class. So I can add a method is called, we have a method called as add. Now which class we want to add? We want to add round border, right? So a new class we have created, round border. So we'll add a new class round border. Now as soon as you say, still it is telling that this particular round border is not defined. So we'll go just copy this, check with respect to the spelling. Now inside quotes you have to add this. Now as soon as you added the round border, now you can see now you got a round border. So now the same effect what we did previously in our HTML file, now we are doing it with our JavaScript here. This is the main advantage. So by using JavaScript, now using the class list, now we are trying to add a new class to this, that is round border. Now even you can add this to any of this any new class you can try to add, or you can try to remove, or you can try to use this class list and apply this to all our borders. That means div 2, 3, 4 or box 2, 3 and 4. Like say for example, how we are going to do is that we'll just use a for loop here. We'll declare a variable, let I equal to 0, I is less than, so box 1 dot length so and I plus plus. So now we take, since we have targeted our box 1 dot, we'll use an index. So since we want to target all the classes here, so here what we do is that instead of box 1 we will use id box. So once you say id box, all the 4 divs you are going to get, right? So we will just change this to boxes. We'll change the variable names here. So what we have done, so we'll use for let I equal to 0, I is less than boxes dot length, totally how many length is there, and I plus plus. So now what we told, so we are just commenting all these sections, right? So we want to add, so we have seen previously we added a box to this round new class called as round border. Now we'll try to add that round border to each and every boxes. To do that we can just use a first a target. So we are going to target. Now if you look our HTML, now all these 4 divs, box 1 to box 4, the class is box. So first you target this particular class box. So we have taken a variable boxes, target it, that is get element by id class box, and if you try to log, so now you can see here, now it is a HTML collection which gives me all these 4 boxes we are going to get. So we got everything in an array. Since it is an array, I can process this by using an easy for loop. So we'll take a variable, let I equal to 0. Now I is less than boxes dot length I plus plus. So boxes, so we'll go, since it is an array, boxes of I. So now what we do is here, we will take here the class list. So I'm going to take this property class list. So it gives me all the lists. So inside this, you can see here the index 0 it is talking about first box, 1 is the second box, 3 is the third box, and 4 is the fourth box. So total the length is 4 boxes. Now for each of these, right, so box of 1, so now you want to add a new class to this. Already the class box is there. To that you are going to add a new class. So we'll just use that class list dot add. Now which class you are going to add? Round border. So round hyphen border. Now if you save this, I can see for all the boxes that round color border came. That means by using class list, you have tried to add a new class here. So in this example previously, we just targeted only one box. We targeted only one box with that particular box ID. That is, here we had given box hyphen 1. First box we targeted, we changed, we tried to change its inner HTML, we changed its properties, and also we created a new class called as a round border. So here in our CSS we created a new class round border with a radius 50%, that is round border, and we added that by using class list. We try to add. So like this, now you can try to add a new class, as well as you can try to remove a new class also. Now say now you want to remove one particular class, so you can even remove a particular class itself from the border, or you can say that you can right now you have got a round border you have applied to everyone. Let me see that. So now the round border is there for each and every class. Now I will target the box 1. So if I use box 1 dot class list, I think suppose that it has to work. Let us check it. Remove round border. No. So it is telling box is not defined. So which was that? boxes. So we will just change it to our variable name. So we will just do one thing. We will target first by ID. So we will declare a variable once box 1 is equal to document dot get element by ID box hyphen 1. So now we have targeted this box 1. So now in this particular box 1, now we will try to remove. So we will say box 1 dot class list, right, dot remove. Which class we will remove? We will remove round border. We will try to remove this particular class. Now if you see here, now when you have removed, so this first box it became square, because in this for loop we added a new class round border. We kept a for loop and we added this round border to each and every boxes. So that is the reason why all the 4 divs which was border was square, it became circle. Now we can even remove. We have removed this. So we targeted the first box by ID, go to the class list, and we removed the round border. So once you remove the round border, the previous border was square. so we get that particular thing. So this is how we can try to add a new class. We can try to remove a new class in our HTML by using our JavaScript. The third one is that you can even create a new class or append. So just now we have seen how we are going to append a new class by using our for loop. So even you can see here, so we can just go to our box 1. So box 1, already we have targeted the box 1. So now we can say dot inner HTML. So we can change this particular inner HTML is equal to hello. So now you can see from box 1 we changed the inner HTML to hello. So you can even add a new class or new element itself, not class. Now we'll try to see how we can try to add a new element. So first thing is that, so we will just use document dot create an element. You have got a method called as create an element. Now we will create an element P. So this is the paragraph element we want to add one particular paragraph here. So we create it. So we will declare a variable const new para is equal to document dot create an element P. So because simply if you just in the previous if you just target this, so it is not going to work. If you say here, so it is not going to work, or no changes we are not able to get. So what we do is, so we will create now new element. Now one element has been created, but this element is still now not inserted into our DOM model. So we just created now, so it is not visible. We have to attach this paragraph, new paragraph what we have created to our DOM. Let us see how we can attach this. Now to put this in, first thing what we should know, which is the root element where you are going to put. Now if you want to put this in the container, first access the container and let us give an ID for the container. If I want to add this new element inside my container, so I should add it to the container. So I need a class for the container. So we will give an ID for this container. We'll say ID also as a container. So now we will declare a variable const container equal to document dot get element by ID container. So now you target your container. Now to this container we want to add. So now we'll say the variable container dot append. So this is how we are going to append a new tag or new element into our HTML. So container dot append, so inside the bracket. So now we have got, it's a child. Now what we said, inside this container I want to add a paragraph. So now container dot append child, I'll make it as a child. So new para, right? So I've added a new para here. Now if you inspect, you go to this, if you go to this, now you can see here in our DOM. So this was this is our entire body tag, that is our container, right? So here we have added one. This is the second div. This is the third paragraph which is coming outside our container. So now we will say new p dot class list dot add box. Now if you see here, now previously only 4 divs were there. Now we created a fourth one, the fifth one, and we have tried to add this so into our particular class. This is the child. Now we created a child paragraph, we created a new element paragraph, and this particular paragraph, for that paragraph we have added a class called as box. So as soon as you add to this paragraph box, so the new box is been added and it is been inserted inside our container only. So inside our container we are trying to add. So this is how now we are trying to work with our HTML, whether the inserting an element, dealing with our inner HTML, changing the attribute values, right, or creating the and appending the HTML. So here what we have done, you are going to create a new element paragraph, then you are going to add that particular as a child. So to which parent you want to add, get that particular parent, target that particular parent with the ID, and to that you try to append it as a child. So whichever new paragraph you have created, you try to append it to the child. So this is the in this particular session, now we have seen that how we have tried to work with our HTMLs, that is by using our HTML. Now we have completely seen how we are going to target our DOM model, or we can say the manipulation with our DOM model. So try to work with this, because this is very important with respect to when you are working with our JavaScript. So the DOM model is very important, or HTML DOM tree, how we can try to target individual tags, how you can try to change its attributes, change its values, even you can create a new tags and add the new tags in our HTML. Clear? So we'll just wind up this session here. Thank you very much.